Hello, friends and neighbors. Swaggy Man Piper 1926 here. On this very beautiful and nice uh, Saturday afternoon, around 2 o'clock, I think. Fixing to uh, go get my car from the church. Uh, one of the other ladies had drove Kayla and the young lady she's going with, or that's going with her, to the airport there Wednesday, I think. Tuesday. Yeah, I think it was Tuesday. The 18th. So wherever that falls. Uh, to the airport. She's going back to Africa. I don't recall if I told you or not. Used our car. I've been rather busy all week for the last bit of the week. Um, wrestles with his Nana, who is my wife's stepmother. And I have been by myself this whole time. Sort of. Me and the cat and the rabbit and Ava, which is technically our dog, but she won't stay in the pen and she won't stay in the yard, so she travels around like a hussy. And I think you can say that here. And this past winter, I suppose, had a litter of pups that I can't really do a whole lot with, because they weren't born here; they were born over there. So, but she brings them over here from time to time to visit and eat. It's like my childhood all over again, going over to my grandparents to visit and eat. Have I now become a grandpa? Anyway. Oh, by the way, I hope everyone's had a good pipe week. This is K Woody. K Woody Whitebriar. Can't tell if there's a number on there or not. I was very proud whenever I found this pipe. I think I gave like $8 for it. It had so much cake in there that you couldn't put the pinky in it. And I looked this up, by the way. This is from 51, 51, 52, I think is when K Woody made their white pipes, white briars. And I really enjoy this pipe. I think the stem here, right here, used to be kind of overclocked. And I think at one time I had something in there to kind of, make the travel distance shorter to where it would set appropriately. And I don't know if I fixed it now, or what, but it had a, well, it had a spot for a stinger. When I found it, it did not have a stinger in it because it had already been chopped or broke or cut or something. But I really like this whole pipe. And actually, I'm thinking I've got two or, well, here's one. And I've got one more. Well, I've got one, Lord. I have two or three straight K Woodies. I'm fairly certain. And then I've got another K Woody that I have intentions of sending to somebody whenever I acquire the time and ambition and the address. So whenever those three stars align, I've got something for somebody. I hope they like it, and I hope they don't dismiss it, because they don't necessarily know me, and I don't necessarily know them. However, I think they'd appreciate it. But we'll get it there eventually. But, by the way, in it is the appropriate 2019 Codger Corner. Brought to us by Mr. Paladin. He had sent me a bag of it in his last gift box bomb. I don't know what to call them all now at this point. His last care package. We'll call it a care package. But I've been rather busy. Just with work. Not getting home till late. And part of it is my fault. I have not been able to get up early like one should and make it into work in a timely manner. And it's partially because that, and you wouldn't think it'd make much sense, but I know that, Kayla's is safe and Russell is safe, but they're not here with me. And, I've gotten used to, Kayla being on the go and everything. I've normally got, Russell here, and I seem to somehow am able to sleep better or just sleep in general when I've got someone in the house with me. And I don't know why. It doesn't necessarily make sense. I guess it doesn't have to. Also, kind of had an epiphany. I was listening to Beans 316 earlier while I think I was washing dishes. And, he's trying out the gold block. I think it's from Dan's Tobaccos. I can't remember. I just remember it was like gold block. And, excuse me, it occurred to me, because he said that he had jarred the blocks, I guess multiple plugs, he had jarred them up. And I'm not very familiar with Dan Tobacco, with the gold block. At least I think it's Dan Tobacco. I don't know. The gold block. That should be sufficient. I'm not familiar with it, if it actually comes in something resealable or something that has like air where it can kind of get to it, or a tin, or I don't know these things. But what the epiphany or apostrophe, depending on how old you are, that I had was one of the blends that I like. I don't get it out very much for some reason, mostly because it's I don't do a lot of online ordering stuff typically, especially for tobacco, unless it's something that I absolutely cannot get or I know that I won't be able to find. And then, if I want it, or something that I want to try, or what have it, then I'll order it. But typically, I've got access to several different, well, they're mostly cigar stores. Let's be real. They're mostly cigar stores, but they still have pipe tobacco for the most part. Some have more, some have less, but I do my best eventually to try and make it around and attempt to purchase something, because, well, I want to support the business, because I like having that business there, yeah, because that's going to be, and nothing absolutely against the online stores and everything, even the like the little boutique online stores. That's not shit. Sorry, uh, Eddie Gray, the pipe note. I would call him a boutique online, or the West Virginia smoke shop that Pat likes to use. And they might be a little bit more what you'd call mainstream, I guess, but I have nothing against them. If I had, if I always had the extra capital, then I would absolutely, I'd support them, and you can get things through them. But a lot of times, and this is my opinion, because this is kind of how I went about it. Unless you are pre-established, a tobacco user. So, cigars is a big thing, or someone with cigarettes. Or the off chance of someone having the knowledge of their grandpa or a family member's pipe, which I also partially had a memory of being a very young child and Dad having a pipe in the back around. Very, very small memory. Um, but, you know, a lot of places are not necessarily, a lot of people are not necessarily going to go and put their faith in an online establishment. More than not, you're going to go and try and locate an establishment, if there's one to be found, that would sell said apparel as a pipe and, you know, tobacco, pipe tobacco. Be that a actual cigar and pipe store, or your local won't call it just a tobacco store, but you know, mostly cigarettes. But well, I don't know if y'all have them, but or everyone out there, but there are little shops near, well, here and around home that is just, you know, mostly tobacco, cigarettes, cheapest prices on a carton, or you know, the rare oddity of someone going and buying a carton of chewing tobacco, or someone needs a roll of dip, or you know, a cheap or cheaper cigar, you know, a $2 cigar, a $3 cigar, something to that effect. And that is typically where you will find a rack or stand or what have you of Dr. Grable pipes and a little thing of pouches or tins, or not tins, but tubs of, you know, our over-the-counter, our codger blends. So I find it respectively important to support the shops. Even if the pipe portion is only 5% of a cigar shop, which is sometimes the case. So I said all that just to say this, that I think from here on out, I'm going to take and designate a jar to Peterson's 3P for celery. Because, you know, it'll still age in the tin, but I feel like also to change a little bit of the aging, a little air in there. My opinion. But yeah. I need to order more of it. That's what I'm saying though. Can't hardly find it. I'm sorry. Most of the ones that I have found and purchased and took it home. They're not as easy to find right now. Or I haven't been able to find them. So, that being said, I'm going to have to get online and order and have it sent to me. And I'm sorry for my unhinged rambling and little smoke whisper trails. Terrible. So, hopefully you are doing well. And if you have a nice day out, hopefully you get to go sit out on your porch or in your back garden or somewhere nice. Enjoy a pipe. Take in the day. Drink up some sunshine. You folks take care out there. And remember, kindness costs us nothing.